Today is December 31st. It is now 8:09 a.m. Central Savings Time. It's an hour behind Eastern Standard Time, which most people tend to live in. I find that I follow at least. I don't know too many. Well, there's some in the West Coast as well. Either way, yesterday, December 30th, King Val had posted this here: universal basic income ready to be rolled out in Canada. And they think this reset's going to take another 50 years. All the exclamation marks and question marks. My God, it's hilarious. I love when he's like, oh, and they think that shit cracks me up. Anyways, let's jump into this here.
To give us deeper insight into what a guaranteed federal basic income would look like is Dr. Elizabeth K. Raining-Bird. What would a realistic federal basic income look like throughout Canada? Who would qualify for it?
The request is being made to provide a regular payment made to people who need it and distributed with minimal bureaucracy. What that would do would be to dramatically reduce poverty in Nova Scotia and throughout Canada, improve the physical and mental health of individuals who are currently living in poverty, increase people's sense of well-being, and actually trust in government.
How can officials implement a basic income program without impacting certain groups?
Advocates throughout Canada, including here in Nova Scotia and the Atlantic provinces, are advocating for a basic income that would not replace the social programs. It would become an important component of a comprehensive social safety net. So the claim by APEC that it would replace social programs is unsubstantiated. I want to emphasize, however, that we really don't know right now how the government would fund basic income. Many programs that are funded with deficit funding. For example, the Canada Child Benefit was funded with deficit funding. And after it was implemented, it actually generated economic gains for the country. So it is quite possible that we don't need to modify the taxation system to create a basic income.
Some really interesting points to consider.
All right. So today's topic of focus here will be on UBI in Canada. The other day, I had posted this, not the other day, I'm lying. December 11th, I had posted Apple is the most used digital wallet with 1.8 billion active devices, together with Circle's USD coin, the second most popular stablecoin with a value of 44 billion. USDC utilizes XLM network, and you can see the pairing with USDC and Apple here. So let's jump into this here. So keep that in mind, USDC, okay, and XLM. This is a company called Hudi. Hudi, the universal basic income experiment in crypto, is working. And this is what Hudi is. More than 240,000 users worldwide have participated in Human Data Income, or Hudi, initiative. The platform allows people to offer their data for sale in exchange for cryptocurrencies. Usually how things work, to get, you gotta give. And a lot of people want to receive, they want to give, or they want to get, sorry. The first Hudi data monetization results are promising. A user manages to monetize his data up for a $10 in 1 day. That's not a lot. I'd ask for more. Actually, I wouldn't even do this, but I'd ask for more either way. Hudi will disintermediate and democratize the data market to the point where every person can cover basic living expenses. Frank Ballarani. Hudi is a crypto startup founded in London by three Italians: Frank Ballarani, Andrea Silvi, and Gianluigi Ballarani. I guess these guys are brothers or cousins, or one could be a woman. I don't know. People identify as couches now. I don't know. Hudi allows people to regain control over their data and monetize it in crypto. The idea of the UBI is not new, but this is the first UBI empowered by the data economy. Jumping back to Bales here, we're talking about Canada. I had gone and spammed his account and went right across Canada as well with this information for people. I'm a Canadian, so I understand the Canadian ecosystem to the best of my ability. So I wrote that should cover all of Canada for each individual province and territory regarding UBI. Solid find, King. And this here is Nunavut. This is talking about Nunavut's UBI program. This here is a link here for New Brunswick's UBI program. This here is a link for PEI's UBI program. This here is a link for BC's UBI program. This here is a link for, which one is this one? Regina UBI program. This is Ontario's UBI pilot. And this down here is Alberta's UBI. Val had covered the federal, and he had posted not long before this about Nova Scotia's UBI program as well. So, Hootie was the word that we're looking at right now. This is Hootie's. This is their Twitter page right here. Hootie is a P2P data exchange protocol and data wallet empowering people and organizations to collect, exchange, and monetize their data. If any of you guys want to jump on board with this, $10 a day, it's extra passive income. Not something I'm not promoting this company, nor am I getting paid by this company. $10 a day is meager pay to me for my data. My data is invaluable. That's why they want as much information as they can. So you need to pay me. And this isn't something that interests me at all, but that's just me. So jumping back here, where was it? Give me 1 second. I was reading about this. There it is. Okay, that's where I was looking. So data is the new oil, the raw material of the new economy, and it creates $1 trillion plus market. Imagine that, $1 trillion market, and they're paying you $10, 240,000 at $10. Not a lot, but we as data owners have no control over it and are cut off from the profit, comments Bellarani, professor of digital market and crypto strategy at the University of Pavia, co-founder for the project. Let's see what the university is. University of Pavia. General information about the university. The university is one of the oldest academic institutions in the world, which began teaching in 825, but was officially founded in 1361. Like Oxford and Cambridge in England, Pavia has a unique university system in Italy that dates back to the 16th century. That's intriguing. So, since we're chatting about Canada's UBI here, let's just jump ahead to UBI for Canada, a new Canada, building a future together. It's not a new Canada, it's still stolen land from the natives. I believe the big chunk of Canada, or majority of it, down into the States, is known as Rupert's Land. Look that up. That's a native-owned initiative there, and that involves the Queen somehow. I don't remember the whole backstory, but it's Rupert's Land. You can look that up. Anyways, back on topic here, universal basic income. Universal refers to 3 distinct features: available to everyone without targeting based on family structure or presence of child, age, disability, or status, paid to those without earned income and even without any effort to find work. So you can just be a bum, lay around, do squat all day, and get paid. And that's an active decision to do nothing. And I'm sure the government is banking on people deciding to do nothing to get free government money. And by free, I mean taxed from us and paid back to the people, and they have no idea where it's coming from. Inflation is a huge part of this man-made economy that's led by the U.S. Federal Reserve, which is not. It's a yeah. Anyways, and 3 here, paid to those with relatively high earned income. So not simply a program to those in deep poverty. Anybody, you can be a millionaire and still jump into this stuff and get your ass trapped. An idealized UBI might have all 3 of these universality but features, but many proposals do not. A basic income is large enough to meet families' basic needs all on its own. Basic needs. That might be just being able to scrape by holding your rent. You won't be able to afford to buy a new house, but you may be able to afford to hold your new house. Maybe, but I highly doubt most people will because they're not set up strategically for this. Because once this collapse happens and the price of, or the value, not price, the value and the intrinsic value of what people consider for real estate falls and the interest rate rises, only certain people will want to jump into real estate, myself being one of those. Like I don't mind paying a higher interest rate for a property when the value of the property is lower because people are thinking, people sell at the top is what they do. So they're going to sell their property at the top at a low because they are unable to afford it. But staying on topic, that has to do with this here. Here's USDC. Remember I told you to keep that in mind? If you don't remember, here it is, USDC, paired with Apple and paired with XLM. USDC to help in Ukraine's stability. Russia's anarchist approach towards Ukraine, that's a lie too, has caused a lot of imbalance, not just in the nations involved in the war. The war is happening physically, which is a real thing, but that's a manufactured thing. So people like to think that Russia is this outlier of a country that does their own thing and blah, 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 and they might, albeit they might. I'm not siding with anybody, I'm just taking information and presenting it as I see it. But behind the scenes, all these banks are working together. So this war is funded by every bank. You had the FTX debacle, which was stealing money from people, sending that to the Democratic Party in the US, and that Democratic Party was sending it out to FTX. Sending it out to Ukraine. You have Canada sending it all of our money out to Ukraine as well. You have a bunch of countries sending money out to Ukraine, and that's all from stolen money due to the inflation from the banks created by this fake economy that the banks have stimulated here. Recently, the UN announced that they will use the stellar XLM network to send USDC, a stablecoin by Circle and Coinbase, to help displaced citizens in the country. I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the projects I follow. I do my homework on that. I haven't presented much homework, but I have presented the homework in terms of collaborations with XLM there. Jumping forward, another initiative here, Universal Basic Income, UBI, with Cello. This is Cello, another company I follow here as well, cryptocurrency. So the context, the idea of UBI has been around for a long time, but discussions of UBI have picked up in recent years. I wonder why. As income disparity and automation threaten to exacerbate inequality through the world, more and more people are wondering if UBI can be a solution. I don't think more and more people are wondering. I think more and more governments are wondering and pushing it onto the people and implanting that thought. I'll just keep that thought in my head there, but implanting the thought. Here's also a paper from IMF with regards to what is universal basic income. This came out in 2018, I might add. What is UBI? Many governments pay pension to elderly people or unemployment benefits to those who lose their jobs or child benefits to those families. Cash transfers to household are common in most countries. What a UBI income? What is UBI income and how is it different from these programs? UBI is an income support mechanism typically intended to reach all or a very large portion of the population with no or minimal conditions. So expect a wallet, if you have these government wallets set up, you have money funded into your wallet irregardless. And there's no way to send it back. The minute you start accepting this stuff, you are on that program. So for myself, I have no intention to set up a wallet from the government. I will have my own wallet and I will be using that. And I will have to maneuver within the CBDC program and out of the CBDC program. I played my life here smart, I figure. I have cash on the side. I've looked into gold to preserve my wealth. I own silver as well. My speculations and based off my education and people I follow, silver will be a huge project this year or within the new year's coming or the next year's coming. I also own real estate, which pays me passive income as well. So looking at the government UBI here, this does not interest me at all, and I hope you guys are well positioned as well. That being said, I'm about to jump off, and I hope you guys have learned something from this. Before I jump off, let's go just recap. Let's just recap quickly here. So XRP Vale had posted about Canada's UBI. I had posted about the connection with Circle and Apple and XLM here. Then here, as we were reading about how the data harvesting is connected here for UBI from Hootie. I showed you Hootie's Twitter page here, and there's about 240,000 people doing this, of getting their paying for or getting paid to have their data harvested, if you will, is the word I used. And then we learned about the school here, that individual Belagiani, I believe their name is. Let me just go back here and not butcher their name. Ballerani. So this is the school that they go to, which is from 825, but was founded in 1331. And then we learned about what universal basic income is considered, 3 types, or what the 3 distinguishing characteristics are to consider for universal basic income. Then we learned here about the USDC and Stellar Initiative out in Ukraine. And this is for refugees here, the displaced individuals, which is a UBI as well. Then we learned about Cello Universal Basic Income as well, and how they will have their own initiative. Not will, but do have their own initiative. I'd like to thank you guys for taking your time for spending that with me and going through this. I hope you learned something. See you in the next one.